We're at the Annie Brown Log Cabin, and we get the opportunity to talk to somebody that knows a lot about building log cabins, Rev Edgar Shelly. He helped build some of our other cabins here, and he has a lot of interesting things to tell about the architecture. I also wanted to show some pictures from a book that we have here that show what the cabin looked like originally at its site that was in Franks, south of Bellevue. And then they restored it in 2007. You can see how they replaced some of the chinking there. Let's see. This was an interesting picture. It says it's log raising day. And that was, I'm not sure the date. And this is Will Cook that was very active at Lime Village. It shows how little buildings were here then. And now we're going to go in and talk to Reverend Shelly, and we're going to go upstairs where people don't usually get to see and see what the little upstairs looks like. Hello, Reverend Shelly.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
What can you tell us about this cabin, about going upstairs, about the architecture of it, but most importantly, how you ever got started helping out here in the 1980s, right? 1985?
Well, yes, I got started about 1982.
Okay.
Several of us painted the Biebricker barn over here beyond the cabins. And this cabin, of course, the Annie Brown cabin, was already here. And it was rebuilt in 1976 by John Schaefer and Mel Herner and their crew. So this was finished pretty much by the time I got here. And you'll notice that the walls are made of oak because in this region, oak was very predominant. There was maple, there was hickory, but oak would stand the test of time much better than the other two, and that's why they used oak, because it was a denser type of wood than the other, than maple or hickory. Okay. And it didn't have the nuts like hickory has, and so they used oak. And you'll notice that they used the axes to trim them up and square them up, and these are all axe marks here. A man would go along on either stride the log, and take his axe, and he would chop each side off and square off the log. And then there was chinked. Of course, a company came in here some years ago and chinked everything, but chinking in those days was usually they used mud, or they used straw or horsehair or corn stalks or something, whatever they could to fill up the spaces between the logs. And so this cabin came from the local area. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but
in Franks, south of Bellevue, we know. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I should show them this painting of what it looked like originally at its site, and how it shows the summer kitchen on the back that we don't have anymore. And apparently this is just a little back building, that little bit there, but that's the summer kitchen and the original cabin. And then we were going to take you guys upstairs where people don't usually get to see, and see if there's some architectural things we could talk about from up there. Here's a picture of Annie Brown here. Show you the steps here. And we moved the big door already. And this is what it looks like.
Oh, I see somebody put insulation up here, Bobby, so I don't want to walk out there. I'm just afraid I might push through.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize you can see daylight out the sides there.
Yes, there is. I'm surprised that those places aren't closed up,
Huh.
frankly, because that would let a lot of cold air in the wintertime. Anyway, Annie slept up here when she was young, and she would hang her wash up here too, but in the wintertime it would freeze, and of course she'd have to bring it down and melt it, and so it could, and then dry it.
And put it in front of the fire, the wood stove down here?
Next to the
Okay.
stove,
So what kind of wood are these little branch logs from in
Well,
the ceiling?
These stringers here are probably hickory, these
Okay.
stringers,
They're called stringers.
and
Okay.
they cut them in half. You see, they cut them in half, and then they would go to a sawmill and get some logs sawed into boards like this, put the boards on top of the stringers, and that's how they built most of the roofs. And back in those days,
There's a little bit of modern insulation on the walls up there.
Yes, this.
So there's a portion of the old chimney over there, but it doesn't go all the way down.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. But it's a very securely built cabin. You can see the walls are, these timbers are probably anywhere from 10 to 12 inches thick.
Yeah, that's huge.
So
Like right there. Look how wide that is.
This was virginal timber that they used that you could not find anymore today. You couldn't find oak trees that are this heavy anymore.
Okay.
This is, as I say, the first cabin that was built here at Lime Village, and then the others came a bit later. Now if I can get
Well,
down.
thank you so much.
If I can get down, that would be the problem.
I'm glad people got to see up here where people don't usually get to go. So come see us at Lime Village soon.